Alrighty. Well, we're getting rid of this car. This car isn't broken. It isn't a bad car. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, well, we got one issue. So, focus real quick. There we go. So when I got this car, I paid like 29 grand for it. The car was like 24, 25. I had a couple grand of negative equity I had to pay on it. It was a fine car. I did a bunch of stuff to it, put a little tuner on it and stuff. Put an intake on it. Intake's really, it's seen better days. It's kind of rusty and cheap. I got it off of eBay, so. Got a little piggyback tune on it. I haven't dynoed it, of course, but I'd say it's making about 220, 230 to the wheel. Not a bad car. But the main issue, like I said, I paid 28, 29 for it, rolled over some negative equity. Car I picked itself was like 24, 25. Fast forward about a year and a half later now, and it's only worth like 13. So that's an issue. And it's hit the point where my tires are starting to get a little worn, brakes are starting to get a little rusty and in need of replacement. Back ones are, I don't know if you can see, they're getting a little gross. So it was either I put new tires on it and stuff, put new brakes on it, or I get a new car. And like I said, this wasn't a bad car. I've had no issues with the car. I only had one check engine light since I got it at 10,000 miles. It's a 2016. I was a certified pre-owned. It's been a good car, but the value on it's just dropping. And it's time to move on. I'm getting something different now. The main issue is the value and the aftermarket support. There's barely little to none aftermarket support for this car. And again, it's just the value is really the big thing. I'd keep this car if it held at value, but it's just dropping, so I'd figure that I'd get rid of it now until the value, so the value doesn't go any lower, and then I have to deal with that. So today I went to a Kia deal, or not Kia. I went to a Volkswagen dealership that also sells Kias, and I test drove a GTI today, and it was awesome. Pretty similar to this car. It's just got a little bit more features. It's brand new. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lease it so that I can drive it for 3 years, 4 years, whatever terms I do, and then turn it in and be done with it. And then I don't have any more debt anymore. Don't got to worry about a car payment anymore, and then I can get what I want. Ultimately, my dream car is a Challenger, and I want to get a Scat Pack or something, but feasibly right now, as a daily driver, trying to lease a Scat Pack or even an RT or something with the 5.7, it's just not feasible. Insurance, I'm 21, so insurance is just way more than what I can afford right now. Daily driving it, it's going to be a V8, so it's going to take more gas and stuff. So right now, I need to get something. It's a little peppy, but it's also, I can drive it every day, good gas mileage, stuff like that. Now, there's been probably a couple sedans and SUVs I probably could have went with, but I like hatchbacks mainly for the reason you can fit a bunch of stuff in them. This is why I like this car at first, because you don't see a lot of them, and it's something unique, so you don't see a lot of them, and it has the room. I got the 4-door version, so you get more room. The hatch, you'd be surprised how much room you can fit in there. I deleted the muffler at some point, so it sounds better, but at some point I was running, focus, there we go. I was running no tips, so the exhaust was cut off like a little bit under the car, so it kind of melted the bumper a little bit. So you can see it's kind of just on top of the exhaust. Just another reason to get rid of it, because at some point I would either have to buy a bumper or just keep living with it, and I've been living with it for a while, but it's just, another issue that I just don't want to deal with anymore. Front bumper and hood and windshield's got a fair amount of chips, cracks, and it's just time to move on. So I'm gonna get into this new car, And I test drove it today. We went over some numbers. Didn't really like the numbers. Worked on some new numbers. Now it's starting to look good. They're having internet issues, so they said, well, you know, we're gonna call you when we get everything, but it's looking good. We got the go-ahead from the bank. We're just waiting for the final go-ahead to go with the deal. Hopefully we can get everything done today. So, in preparation for that, I'm gonna take out all the mods and stuff I have on here. It's like the intake, the little piggyback tune, I got LED headlights, shifter, just stuff like that. I'm gonna take that all apart, so if it does work out today, don't gotta worry about that, and then I can resell that stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. If you see this footage, then I probably ended up getting the car. So let's get to removing stuff. Got rid of the Mini, got a good deal on this, brand spanking new. I got it on Tuesday. Oops. The only downside, so this is a base model, which you get a lot for the base model, but don't get a smart fob, turn blade keyed, so I actually have to unlock the doors, which one thing I'm still getting used to with the Mini being push button. Stick shift, of course, because stick shift is awesome. Plaid seats, those are pretty sweet. Standard option, red stitching. It's got like red lights in the door here, as well as in the kick plates, which is pretty sweet. So that's pretty awesome. I'll start it up real quick. Oh, copyright. Yep, engine's running, I know. So yeah, this thing's pretty sweet. Let's see if we can turn the infotainment on without blasting music. Alright, so big plus that I like about this that the Mini did not have, and we'll plug this little handy dandy cord in here, is Apple CarPlay. So we'll just go ahead and focus in on that. So if you've never seen or used Apple CarPlay before, man, it doesn't want to. I mean, I guess that works. It's pretty bright. But this is Apple CarPlay. So basically you can use all your stuff in here. So you can go with messages, you can listen to your music on Spotify, all throughout the car, so you don't have to mess with your phone or anymore, do voice commands. Big plus about this, you can use your own music as well as maps. Maps is the biggest thing because you can use the maps on your phone and you don't have to worry about, oh, does my car would come with navigation, or worry about a phone mount or anything. So that is my favorite thing about this car. Just to go over a couple features, heated seats. Like I said, this is a base model. Comes with heated seats and heated mirrors right off the rip. So I thought that was pretty sweet in a base model. Backup camera. Cool thing about the backup camera is it comes out of the Volkswagen logo. So if you put it in reverse, you hear a little zzz kind of noise, and it pops up right out of the logo. So that's pretty cool. Other than that, basic stuff. It doesn't have the come on. Jeez, this thing does not like the infotainment. That works. So this one doesn't have like any of the racing meters or anything. It's got vehicle status, so it'll tell you, oh, looks like doors open, basic stuff like that, tire pressure. Think Blue Trainer. This just basically tells you, fuel consumption, stuff like that, how well you're saving gas. I'm getting about 29.9 gallons per miles per gallon. Driving data. This just tells you your range and stuff. Start, stop, how much gas you used. All that cool stuff. Since refuel, all that cool stuff. And it doesn't really have any of the pressure boost gauges or horsepower gauges or anything like that, but it's still pretty cool for all this in a base model. You get touchscreen, all that stuff. Like I said, shifter's awesome. You get a golf ball shifter, which I think is pretty cool. Red stitching and stuff like everywhere, even on the e-brake, throughout the steering wheel. You got a little GTI logo. In the dash here, actually got this little hexagon pattern throughout the dash, just on this top part here. Still looks pretty cool. No digital dash or anything like in the higher models, but it's still pretty good for a base model. I mean, you get a lot of features for just this being a base model. It does pop. Well, it doesn't pop, but it kind of crackles from the factory. We'll see if we can. I mean, it's not going to do it now because I'm filming, of course, but still pretty cool. Again, all in a base model, which is awesome. Got a good deal on the price, good price on my trade-in. And yeah, it's got little red logos on the side, big old brakes in the front, which that's pretty awesome. It says GTI right on them. I like the stock wheels and everything as well. It's got great trunk space. Like I was saying earlier, your backup camera pops right out of here. But this is also how you open the trunk. Of course, it locked itself because I got out. Unlock. Open up the trunk. And you've got plenty of trunk space. Dual tips from the factory as well, which is pretty awesome. And they're pretty big tips too. More than the Mini had from factory. You got a little spot there, you can pop that open if you have to slide something through. It's got cup holders for the back row. And then it's also, you can pop that open and slide stuff through if you got something long. Full-size spare tire and stuff. And that's pretty much it. The only really other stuff you get in the higher models, you get like LED headlights and taillights. More bells and whistles like bigger touchscreen, leather seats, stuff like that. But for the most part, you get a lot of stuff in this base model. So I leased this car. Like I was saying earlier, Mini, I was $8,000 under, and it needed tires and brakes, and I just didn't want to invest that into a car that, you know, wasn't worth it. So that's why I got this car, traded in. Kelly Blue Book said the car was worth $13,000. I owed $20,000 on it. Also got in an accident, which I forgot about, but some guy rear-ended me, and so he even made the value even less. So they ended up giving me $12,000 for it, which $1,000 under Kelly Blue Book with an accident, and the condition that I was in, a rear bumper was all melted and stuff. I mean, I couldn't beat it. I was like, yes, needed tires and brakes too. I was like, take it, it's your problem, see you later. And they got me into this, leased it, brand new, for 4 years. Now my payment, it used to be $450, now it's $600. I know that seems a little much, but with $8,000 of negative equity and stuff too, and all the factors, I think it came out as a good deal. I'm gonna drive this for 4 years, and then turn it in, and I won't even have to worry about tire, brakes, or anything. So I'll probably only put 30,000 miles on it, turn it in, and then I can either get another one of these, or you know, we'll see what happens. The plan originally was to drive this for 4 years, then get a Challenger. But in the week that I've already had this thing's pretty sweet. It's a perfect daily driver. Like I was just showing it, it gets like 30 miles to the gallon. It's pretty peppy. It's got about 228 horsepower from the factory. People have dynoed them and they've been more around the 240 mark, 250. So lied about the horsepower a little bit. Of course, you know, I've had it a week. I haven't dynoed it myself, but there is plenty of aftermarket support for this car, and that's another big thing that I liked about this car. Lots of aftermarket support. Alright, so that's going to pretty much wrap up this video. I'm going to make quite a few videos with this car. Basically, like I said earlier, I'm leasing it, so I don't want to get too crazy because I still have to debate if I want to turn it in, keep it, or maybe even get a Golf R or something, because Golf R is just basically a 2-liter turbocharged just like this, but all-wheel drive instead of front-wheel drive. So, and I've seen crazy things coming out of those cars, and they're amazing. So I might have to look into that maybe after this car, but for now, this will be a perfect daily driver. Drive it for 4 years, get rid of it, or keep it, or get a Golf R, or we'll see what happens. But definitely will make more videos, probably do a couple things to it, because 4 years is a long time to keep a car stock. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I will see you in the next one.